2025 has been a year. The good, the bad, everything you can think about, it's gone. We are in a new year. I'm not here to share my story for anybody to look down. I am not here for anybody to feel pity for me or anything like that. I am only here. Maybe this can just motivate and push someone who is so down and thinking how am I gonna get through this, okay? I'm Nana. Most people know me as Abina or Priscilla. Either way, I'll go by it, but I prefer Nanapina, okay? So my journey started, I know I've talked bits and pieces here and there in some of my other videos, right? But this one is like a whole me. The whole Nanabina is how far I've come, my journey, my successes, my failures, everything that you want to know. Because there's been a lot of questionings and things going all around, and hey, it's fine. That's people's opinion. But today, I just decided to share because, and the only reason I'm sharing this is because I just got pushed. Let me just use that for lack of a better word from some of my students. That my story is inspiring. So the few ones that I have shared with, they're always saying, your story is inspiring. You really need to put it on your YouTube channel so people can hear you and know that there's still hope. So I am not doing it because I really want to put it, but because everywhere that I have stand to say anything about me. And this video will be very long because it's going to be very unfiltered, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to throw it as it is. To those that want to have ears to listen to it, good for you. Good luck. But yeah. Anyways, I'm Priscilla. I was born and raised in Ghana, Kumasi. So the people that know Kumasi very well. And when I say this, people don't believe it, but it's okay. So I was born and raised in Kumasi, a very small town or city, whatever you want to call it. Krofrom, precisely Colombia. So anybody that knows Kumasi very well, if you tell them these areas, it's like the danger zone, like the real bad ones. In America, people will probably associate it with the Bronx, like the high, you know what I mean? But yeah, that is where I live. That was where I was born and raised. My mom and dad traveled at a young age, so I kind of lived with my grandma till I traveled. Basic school in Kumasi, everything up until high school, okay? So right around after high school, 2011, I had the opportunity to go to the United States to continue my education. At this point, I had only graduated from senior high school. So when I went to the state, it was time to kind of move further with my education. And I love school. Like, I try. I'm not brilliant. And sorry, guys, I do have this awful cough, but I'll try. Yeah, but I did face some challenges, which was very, very awkward, like very, very bad. And seriously, if it wasn't for the fact that I had decided and I knew where I was going, and in fact, I had thought about who I wanted to be, I was going to give up in life because I really went through some pretty bad challenge. And from where it was coming from, it was not easy to just let go or to just bounce back. But hey, God knows what he was doing. Maybe today, if I had not gone through that challenge, I probably would not be here. It was coming from a very close family. A lot happened. 2011, a lot happened. And up until today, there's still no explanation. And I just thank God for my life that through the craziness, throughout everything, I am still here thriving. And I've come this far, okay? Sometimes God have a purpose for us and we just don't know. I always associated mine with that of Joseph in the Bible, if you guys know. Like sometimes, right, things happen to us from the inner circle, from our own immediate family, and we think that's it. But God is using that to elevate us in different ways. And I feel like that's what happened to me. So, in everything, as awful as it was, I'm thankful for how far I have come. And that's what matters. Okay. So back in ending 2011, 2012, early 2012, I went to CNA school. So I started from scratch. You cannot tell me anything. I went to CNA school, went through everything that everybody has to go through, did my state exams, and I got it. So I practiced as a CNA from 2012 to 2014. Right around September, I got I've been a CNA before. I started from the scrums. So listen, don't play with me. You all CNAs. You know what I mean? That's just a joke though. But one thing that I took from when I was working as a CNA is that my job reflected on me, even till today as a nurse. Like my patient are a reflection of me, and how I take care of them tells a lot about who I am. So to all you all CNAs that I know the job is difficult, do not get me wrong. And I feel you. Like personally, when I'm working, I cherish my A's a lot. Some nurses are different. I can't speak for everyone. But I'm here to tell you, please, whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly. Because you knew the job description, you knew what it was, and you still signed up for it. People's life depends on you. And it's up to you to make them look their best, look great in themselves, and still feel that dignity and respected for who they are. Because you're taking care of people that have been nurses, doctors, lawyers. Think about these people have hold different higher levels of occupation, right? And for some reason, life just happened, and now they can do it again. And you're taking upon yourself that you're gonna be their helping hand. So it is very important when you're stressed, take a break. Work is too much. Like you need to schedule yourself in a way that you're not gonna get burnt out. But at a point, if you're feeling that burnt out, you need to pause. You need to take a break. You don't need to work those doubles again. Please save your license, save your life so you can give a better care. Anyways, but yes, I was a CNA from 2012, May 2012 till September, and I was still an aide when I was going through school, but I was only working per diem, right? But yeah, I got admitted to one of our community colleges. Went there, the prerequisites. Even before then, I was like, "Oh my God, the prerequisites, blah, were taking way too long. Like a couple of years before I even start the program. What is this? I should just go to like a 4-year program, because then I can just do it straight for." But after going around in circles, I made up my mind. And I think that was a game changer at that point. I told myself, Priscilla, you know what? You've gone through circles and everybody's telling you the same thing. At this point, I can cheat nature. Like I can't beat the system. So I made up my mind that a journey with 1,000 steps, that they say begins with a step. I told myself, I just need to start. And I did. So I started, I took all the prerequisites, and then when I was working, I was doing the prerequisites, right? And in between I did take the TEAS exam. So I was on the wait list, and that's when they called me for the 2014 September to start. So at that point I was all done. So I started 2014, few months down the road, I got pregnant. Chale, nursing school in itself is crazy. And now thinking about pregnancy with school was just, I was at a point that I almost knocked out. But there was this friend that held my hand. Like I could be sleeping and she's like, Priscilla, let's go to the library. Priscilla, let's do this. At least at the library, even if when you're tired, you sleep a little bit, you get up. So shout out to her. I appreciate her so much for holding my hand, right? And gradually we pulled through. It was not easy. And I do not encourage anybody to do that. I mean, I was doing what big girls were doing that cost me that. But anyways, um, I went through LPN school successfully and graduated June of 2015 when I was like 8 months pregnant, almost 8 months pregnant because I had my baby in August, right? Yeah. So now I have my first baby and I was so determined to go back to do my RN. And in between, I had a few prerequisites that I had to take before I realized I was pregnant with my second born again. Jesus Christ. I just feel like anytime I'm going to school, I'm pregnant. But I did it, pulled through, had my other baby in 2016. So now I have a 2015 August and a 2016 November. Guess what? Right before I got into school for my RN, I have had another baby again. This is my third baby. Very unplanned. I was on IUD and I was very, very upset. Very, very upset because it was very unplanned. I was going to school way younger. The stress, I was burnt out. I'm like, I'm going to take my time. But life was life in. Anyways, that's what happened, and I just couldn't do anything. So I leave it that. The only time I was happy about that pregnancy, and I'm not even gonna lie here, this is the realest truth I'm telling you guys, was when I found out the gender because I already had two boys, and it had better been a girl because it was another boy. I don't know what I was gonna do. As like I love babies, but I was just not ready for another baby at that point because I was burning out. Like 2015, 2016, they were just a couple months apart from each other. So you can understand what I was going through. But my third baby, right? I was on IUD. I went back for a follow-up checkup, and this thing, I wanted to say the S word so bad, but this thing was sitting right where it needed to sit. My doctor could see it, like it was done. It was inserted and sitting perfectly. As to what happened, I don't know. And you know how they tell you, like, about 99.9%, it works, but 0.1. Unfortunately, your baby girl was part of the 0.1. Oh, you can imagine. So I was very upset when I was pregnant, up until when I went for the gender. Like when they revealed the gender to me and said that it was a girl, that was what everything, the whole madness and everything just kind of quieted down. It was up until then that I accepted the pregnancy. I wouldn't even lie to you. But anyways, and aborting is a big no-no. Like my culture, where I come from, I believe is a no-no. So I was still going to carry throughout, regardless even if it was a boy. But when they told me it was a girl, it was a big game changer for me. I was so excited at that point. And long story short, come November. So my second one was past 2 days. He was supposed to come November 20th. He came November 22nd. My third one, but Billy was like that long. I'm not even kidding. I'll put that picture for you guys to see. So she passed 3 days and landed November 22nd. So I have two kids that have the same birthday. Anyways, I only have to celebrate it once, but yeah. So now 2015, 2016, 2018. I wonder where I was going and having babies like that. I'm not a machine, Priscilla. Excuse me. But yeah, here we are. Thank God for life. They're so beautiful. They warm my heart. Those are the cute, precious things that I could ever ask for. And I know there have been questions about, are you married? Are you this? Are you that? I was with your dad at that point. Family knew him. We were together. But unfortunately, we've been apart for some time now. It's been, come April will be 5 years that we've been apart. But it is what it is. I can't go into much. He was a great guy. He had his own side. I had my side. Like we all have a good and bad side. But there are certain things that I told myself I was not gonna tolerate. Like it's not to say that I made up my mind to let everything work. You know, I made up my mind no matter what, unless I'm between life and death, or I am between the point that I am being physically abused. I cannot do anything. And I was like, you know what? No, I got to save myself and my kids. I got to be alive to watch my kids. So he was a great guy. I am not here to speak anything bad about him. We had our time. Sometimes you just need to understand not everybody will go through the end of the journey with you. It had to be where it had to be. He made his decision and choice and moved on. And actually walked out, and it's fine, okay? But long story short, the good, the bad, the whatever, we take it, we move on. He was a great guy. He did his best, but we just couldn't continue for whatever reasons known to him. So we'll leave it as it is. Anyways, 2019, I started my RN school in October. It wasn't that crazy, but I was feeling it. I was burnt out. Anybody that graduated with me will tell you. Like, anytime you see me, I was tired. If tired was a person, that was me. My eyes, I was tired. I was burnt out. I just couldn't help myself. But I still made up my mind that I was going to go through school and get my RN because there were better opportunities with your RN. There are things I could do like management, and I aspired to be in management and all that. So I had no option because I wanted to get it. And mind you, when I got to the state, right, I kept saying to myself, like, what am I really? Hey, someday me, I could become an RN. Like, if I'm a BSN, if I'm this, it was so gonna be nice and this and that. And I just kept imagining it. Imagine if you're like a BSN, and even with your masters, it would be nice. So the fantasy, and I was just thinking and laughing through in my head. That's the one thing about me. I always kind of picture the who I want to be, like my future, how I'm gonna look, sit in my office, doing all that. So those were the whole thing that were guiding me throughout, even though I was facing challenges and going through craziness. Like, guys, I'm not going into details because this video is gonna be super long if I do. I have not had it like that easy. I know people out there think that I've had it easy. I have been through it. I have been through struggles. There are very few people that knows this. I have been through struggle. I have been through so much challenges. But I always have this mental toughness that it's a phase of life. I will get over it. So far as I'm not stuck. I do cry. I do feel down, depressed, anything that you can think about. Like, I cry in my own corner. But I get up, wipe my face, and I ask myself, how can I move on? Anything that will help me to kind of let me forget whatever that I'm going through at that point, I will do it. But when I'm done, I pray to God. God, you know what? My life is still in your hands. Take the lead. Like, this was just a phase and it's going to be over. So fast forward, I started this RN school, gradually going through. It was difficult. Excuse me. It was really, really difficult, because it felt like I was never a nurse. And I encourage everybody, if you're listening to me right now and you are an LPN, if there is life, you have good energy, good strength, and what should I say? Like, if you have energy and strength and you have good health, go back for your RN school. It's a game changer. Even though there are some LPNs who practice way better, knows their skills and do great job than some RN, but the level of opportunities an RN is going to give you is massive. Please, if all odds and you can go, just go. And I understand if you're not willing to go, you're not ready, kids, school, life, all those stuff are around you and you can't do it, that's fine too. Because we cherish you guys. We cherish all of you LPNs too. So whatever you're doing it. I mean, those that are practicing diligently, those are the ones I mean. Anyways, but school was difficult. School was tough. Fast forward, graduated 2020 December. That was the best feeling ever, Jesus Christ. When I was going to school, it felt like I was carrying a burden of load. Like, I can't even describe it. You have to be there to know what I'm talking about. The sleepless night. You have 3 kids. At some point, my kids had to sleep at someone's house for me to go to school, because my nanny at that point could not come to where I was. So I had to bring my kids every week to be there. I had to change their address. Guys, you don't even know what we've been through back door. So I think I'm coming up with a cold, but you don't know what we've been through behind doors. My kids were sleeping somewhere, and I had to change their school address so their bus driver could go there and pick them up for school and drop them. And then on the weekend, I'll go get them. Like, it wasn't even every weekend, because the only time I had to work was the weekends too. So guess what? When I was in school, I was working, like, let's say on a Friday, because I went to clinical on Fridays, right? And it was a 10-hour clinical from 1 to 11. Yeah, that's 10 hours from 1 to 11. And the instructor that I had, you go through it all. Like, I'm not even joking, the whole hours. It was a struggle, you know? But when we go, I prep my mind that from clinical, I'll go to work, because where I was going to clinical was not far from my workplace. During the weekdays, I could not. Anytime that I had, I'll actually drive to see the kids, give them kisses, let them know that I love them, that what I'm going through is just a matter of a year and everything will be over, you know. But shout outs to this woman, grandma. Thank you so much. She took care of the kids. She did give them that training, and made them eat our food, and made them eat that kind of food, like the chi and all that. And now I don't even struggle wherever I take them. It's like they blend in and they eat our food. So shout outs to grandma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll always call her name out anytime I'm talking about my true story and my journey, because he played a very crucial role. Anyways, but yeah, so when I went for clinical, the clinical starts at 1. I will leave home like around 11:30 or 12 to go to clinical, which starts at 1. And when I'm done with clinical, remember I told you the only time I was working was weekends. So not every weekend, but for most part of the weekend. So the weekends that I was not working, I'll go get the kids. And the weekends I was working, I'm working, right? But yeah, so sometimes maybe like 10:40 or 10 or like 11, when we close, I walk to the job and then go clocking. And because I was still paying bills, because America don't know that you're in school, America don't know that this, America don't know nothing. So I will go there from 11 p.m. Remember, I left home Friday 12. I will go to clinical till 10-ish and go to work to start at 11 p.m. night shift till 7 a.m. And because I was only working those times, I would do doubles on that. So 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. for 8 hours, and I will continue to 3 p.m., making it 16 hours. Because the little I have, girl got to do her hair, girl got to take care of herself. I was not doing too much. But you still got to pay bills. I still had to pay grandma. I still had to do what I had to do, regardless if you're in school or not. So, America, it will break you. But if you make yourself... So we did not take it on a silver platter. Anyway, so that's 16 hours going into 3 p.m. And 3 p.m. for nurses, even though it says 7 or 3, I was not really done at 3. Sometimes whoever is your relief will come in like at 4 or 3:30. By the time you give report, it's like 4 or 5. And God forbid if you have an incident, let's say someone falls down or like there is a death or whatever, unplanned circumstance, then you have to even wait longer. And then I'll go home after whatever time I leave. Usually it was like around 4:30. I'll go home, and my kids too, like, have to call them, video chat, take a shower, get something to eat. I was eating mostly from outside because that time I'm tired. What am I gonna cook? Anyways, take a shower and go to bed for a couple hours, sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours, because I have to wake up that night and go for another double for the Saturday. Guys, It is well. I'll go Saturday 11 to 7 into Sunday again. So do 16 hours, 11 to Sunday morning 7 and 7 to 3 or 4, depending on how quick my relief gets there. And then go sleep the Sunday, and Monday is a whole new day. Or the other times that I was working is when there's a holiday or stuff like that. But that was my life. The whole week was school, clinical. The weekends, which was like starting from Friday. Friday I had clinical, and then I have to work and work. You guys know, I just explained it to you. So it was very crazy. I did not take it lightly. Like, I'm sitting here talking about it and it feels like nothing happened. Guys, if I tell you I've struggled, closed doors, like, I have gone through it. We just don't share it and we don't look like what we've been through. But go into details, you guys are really, really gonna cry for me, right? But I motivated myself. Again, when I was going through all that phases of life, there was only one thing that I had my eyes set on. The imagination that I put at the back of my mind, the who I wanted to become, that kind of nurse. I pictured myself sitting in that big office, like being in management, being a director one day, doing this. And until today, I have not achieved all of what I thought about, and I am thinking about it, right? So it's like, what can I do? Like, how far can I go again? Like, it still keeps coming in. And I know God is going to take us where we want to go. Okay. But yeah. And now school is done. And I will have to do a whole video about my NCLEX. And this is something I have never shared about, but I'll tell you. So when I went to write my NCLEX, I failed the first time. It was difficult. Like, I failed the first time. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, what just happened? And in school, we were always talked about, like, your first chances. If you don't make it, the probability of you making it throughout the other chances is very slim. I was very, very anxious when I was going back to write it again. I'll do a separate video about how I have failed in life, my failures in life, and how far it's brought me. Right? But yeah, I went back the second time, and I got it. Thanks to God. But I was very, very nervous. Very nervous. But I got it the second time. And now started working as an RN. So I worked with Beaumont, the one in Worcester that just closed because of COVID, like right after COVID, for about a decade, up until they closed. And then afterwards, my journey has been really around traveling per diem here and there, because I have spent a lot of time, like, in school, facing challenges, the up and down, and hasn't really, I am big with family and hasn't really had time with my kids. So I wanted to have control of my schedule. So now I was doing more of traveling, nursing, and per diems, which gave me that leverage to be able to have control of my schedule and also have time with my family, especially my kids, because I adore them, and I have put those kids through a lot when I was trying to go to school too. That was a big game changer, and I had done that for a minute, for a while. I love travel nursing. I don't know. It's difficult. Like, if you haven't gotten into it, I will not encourage you. It has its good and bad side. It is good when you want to have control over your schedule, work less hours and still get more, no benefit and stuff like that. But it's difficult to stop, to quit, because the money during COVID was great. I don't think they're paying us much now, but travel nursing is just, but look into the bad side too, because you can really have it. Anyways, but yeah, I did a lot of travel nursing. And since that my full-time job kind of went out of business, it's been pretty travel nursing, per diems, and the few ones that I had not too long ago. I call it not too long ago because my other job, I was there a decade, and because my other job I was there for a decade, and this one hasn't been a decade, and that's why I say like I haven't been there too long, right? I have had the opportunity to to practice bedside nursing as a CNA, getting to see what the nurses do, doing wound dressings, talking to the patient, what I can do to support them to let the shift run smoothly, team player. I've had the opportunity to practice bedside nursing as an LPN, giving my all. But when I became an RN, my whole mentality about nursing practice, what I do, the things I never used to take seriously, like documentation, compliance, making sure my patient are okay, teaching and all that, put it together, because that's a big part of our nursing, right? Giving meds is just like a percentage, 1% or 2 of what you do as a nurse. But patient teaching, discharges, telling them and their families what they don't need to know and all that they need to know, it was just a game changer. I practiced differently. My whole mentality when I became an RN, it shifted so much. The things I never used to think that it could cause this, I was like way ahead of it. That's why I encourage you, like if you have not, you need to start getting your RN or start planning to go get your RN. Again, that's if time, health, and money permits, finances, because it's a lot of money now, right? But yeah, and when I did that, again, remember I told you I knew I wanted to get into management. So I went back to school 2022. I went back to school to get my bachelor's at Elms College. And I graduated the following year. So that took me a year, somewhere August. It was a Saturday. And my instructor, my point of contact person who was also my instructor, was such a game changer for me. Like she actually motivated me a lot anytime that we had to talk, more like my advisor, right? She was phenomenal. I truly appreciated her. She kept motivating me. She's a doctor in education. She has a doctorate in education and now just graduated with a doctorate in psych. So she has 2 doctorate degrees. She motivated me a lot. So I graduated on a Saturday in August of 2023. And I started my master's on Monday. So I only had a Sunday break, and I started my master's. And again, it has its good, it has its bad side. I was very thrilled and happy that I started. And I did this all behind closed doors. Like I never announced this. It's not because I couldn't, but that's just me. I have this thing like go through fire, do everything backdoor, and let your victory come out, shine. But yeah, so I graduated on a Saturday. Monday, I started my MSN. It was nice. It was going well up until like midway. When I was left with my last semester, I was like too broken to go forward again. Like I lost it. My mental status was just off. I was not stable. I was not okay. I was crushing. Like mentally, I was crushing. I was so burdened. Again, kids, family, life, everything, bills, back home. Listen, I was, even though I'm not midlife yet, but I felt like I wasn't having the midlife crisis. So I had to take a break. And because it was such a short semester, because every course took like eight weeks. Every semester was like 8 weeks, right? And if you have to take like 2 weeks, that literally means that you're past the add and drop. So it was fine. I just had to let a semester go, and I went back. Again, never say never. You can pause and take a break, and that's what I did. Pause, take a break, but never stop. Again, it's what I have already planted here. It's so stronger than me. My mindset and my vision are way bigger than me. So I'm not giving up. I can take a break, I can pause, I can rest, reset, and come back. And that's exactly what I did. Thankfully, I went back and I got my my master's in 2024. Who knows what's next? But anyways, God will take us through, right? And when I was done, I have had the opportunity to practice as a staff development coordinator, infection preventionist, what else? Like an education I'm an adjunct faculty at one of your community schools. What else do I have? CPR instructor, MAP instructor. Again, I still do bedside nursing. I'm a psych nurse. I loved message. I did a bit of message too. And like I said, the traveling. So I have had the opportunity to work in management for some time now. And, and I've worked in assisted living, long-term care in the hospitals. I did work at Shattuck Hospital. It's a DPH and DMH as a supervisor. So name it all. I've been a supervisor, management, a charge nurse at a forensic unit. Yeah, I'm that tough. I can. When I step in my nursing role, I'm completely different. And to change our mindset. Like I feel like most nurses play too much. We don't take the job seriously. Most people are in for the money. You got to put a heart into it. And I'll just use this to encourage a few ones that are coming on board. Like, listen, I know everybody's saying, oh, nursing, nursing, nursing. Nursing is not that easy as you guys all think about. It has a lot of challenges. Like, it has its own good side and bad side. You don't just get the money. You have to work your butt off to get those money. Hours on hours, feeling crushed, feeling bent out. Is it worth it? No. Because the more you work and bent out, when you go to a patient room, you're just going to give that attitude to them. And they do not need that because you are choosing to work those hours. I know sometimes if they're working short, they need the help. But if you are at the point where you cannot keep up yourself and maintain your attitude, there's no point to work. Because you going into a patient room with an attitude, you're going to get it back. And no matter what, your patient has the upper hand because they are your customers. If it's the right way for me to put it, you are taking care of them. You signed up for that shift. So whatever they're doing, whatever questions they have, anything they need, you need to be there to provide for them. Right? So nursing is not that lucrative as you guys think about. It only becomes lucrative when you're working and working and working and working nonstop, which is not healthy. And sometimes some patients don't even appreciate what you do. Some of your management doesn't appreciate it. Because me personally, I have gone through craziness with management. I love my work. I love what I do. And I put my all into it when I'm doing it. It's just quite unfortunate that as a Black young woman working, we still live in the era of modern slavery. So you can work, you're putting all in what you're doing. You're working, doing everything you're supposed to do. But there is some management. It's not even the job owners, so it's not the business owners that are giving you the hard time. Some management that they've put in place. And don't get me wrong, if I'm not doing something right and you call me, I love to learn all the time. Let me know what I'm not doing right, and I bet you're not going to call me again. My integrity level when it comes to my job is here. I do not let you call me to tell me what to do. Just show me the how. You want your work to be done. I promise you. It will be done. If you have a deadline, just say, Priscilla, we need to get this done by the next day. It will be done with a report on your desk before the time limit. But the least thing is you don't tell me what, like your time bomb, whatever it is, and you expect me to do certain things. Even with that, as a nurse, in whatever role I am in, I have my description of my job. I go exactly with that. If you want to add more, let's sit down and talk more. It's not just like this and that, just throw it to our faces. But it's very unfortunate Black women are still facing, Black men also. Like, we women are going through it, but the men, sometimes I cry for them. They're going through craziness too. This modern slavery needs to stop at the job. You are putting your all in it, but some management somewhere don't even recognize it. They still look down on you. They still think, and let me just use this as an opportunity, right? I'm going to do a whole video, but let me just use this as an opportunity. We Blacks, we're not crazy. We are very matured. We know what we are doing. I shouldn't say all, but for the most majority of us, if you take 100 people, about 98, 99%, I can boldly say. Because the way we are raised, we are taught not to talk back. We are taught, because when you talk back to your elderly, it's considered disrespect. When you share an opinion or stuff like that, when we are growing, the way we were brought up, we will make it seem like when you share your opinion or you talk or advocate for yourself, it's bad and sending like a disrespectful signal. But America has also taught us, and traveling has also opened our eyes that no, you actually need to sell yourself. So if you're like a manager here watching me, if this is like a culture shock, and I think I need to do a video about that too at some point. But when we come, like us, looking straight in your eye to talk to you is considered disrespectful. But in the diaspora, it's considered confident. It's just the same way when we call you by your first name, it's disrespectful in our culture. But the diaspora, they choose to be called by their first name. There's so many things me here I had to learn for me to be able to fit in and make my life easy in the diaspora for me. So I did not take it lightly. Okay, I did not take it lightly at all. It's been crazy. So when I'm talking to my African women, my African mamas, I still give them that respect. I still call them aunties, mommy. And sometimes in your workplace, if you can see, most African people still call the elderly mommy, auntie, and all that. It's still difficult for us to call them by their first name because it's still considered disrespectful. So, but when I'm working with white other nationalities, other ethnic groups or nationalities, whatever you want to call it, I call them by their first name because that's what they prefer. I one time called a white person auntie, mama, and I got it. Am I your mother? Like, it was bad. So since then, I advised myself and I have always been calling them by their names, right? So the culture shock is there, and having to go through that and looking at myself from a very little girl from Krofrom, Kumasi Krofrom, Colombia. The Colombia place is a very well-known place where people smoke weed, cigarette, drinking, bad behavior, bad habits, like anything you can think about, like a ruffian or like a very crazy packed neighborhood. From when you say it, it's like everybody knows the kind of person you are. But me having been able to come out from that, go to school, I never look like the way I lived. I don't look like the way I was raised. The one thing that I picked up is because it made me tough. Like, you cannot just walk on me as it is. No, it won't happen. I respect people. I respect elderlies. I respect people in authority. I will work diligently. But the one thing I don't do is to disrespect me for no reason. Like, if I have not done anything, no. Like, I also learned to advocate for myself, because if I don't talk for myself, nobody will talk for me. Okay? So we are coming from an angle that we've seen life, we've seen struggles, we've been through it. And now, through God's grace, shifted us into a different part of the world for us to also have that experience. So when we blend in the two, it still gives us that resilience to keep pushing and doing all that. Honey, I did not say all of this just because my mouth is itching and all that. I am just saying this to encourage someone who is at the lowest point of their life. I was the very lowest point. The fact that I did not come on social media, and I'm telling you, this is the first time I'm sharing like real in-depth life of my story. A young girl right from high school that just came to the diaspora, the United States, having to face that challenge. The weather, it was the cold season. Honey, I don't want to go into details because I'll cry right now. And bouncing back, and I also had to go through marital issues and with having to go through school, having 3 kids back to back, coming out successful, has been God and very few people, very few dedicated people who have been around me, cheering me on, encouraging me, making sure that I get to the top and I get to the best. One of the few people who knew the story, when they got to know that I was done with my master's, she just couldn't help it. And I was so happy that she made it over there. And now it's like a role model. Like when she sees me, she tells people about my story. She's one of the few people that truly knows every little thing I've been through since I traveled. I hardly share what I've been through because most people just listen to either laugh at you or condemn you on some point. But this woman, anytime, she's actually telling people the journey, how far I've come, what I have been through, and it amazes them that with everything that I have been through, I have still come out successful. It's God. Me, when you ask me, it's God and my mental determination, like the resilience. I still have the picture. I am not there yet, but I still have that picture of who I want to become, and that's what keeps me going. But yeah, that's a little bit of me. Right now, through God's grace, we've been able to open company, the Prisco. I call it the Priscilla Group of Companies, and that's what I cut it short, the Prisco LLC. So we are into, it's a healthcare agency, right? We have the Prisco Health Center located currently in Ghana. With time, we are going to go into the global communities to serve, but the Prisco Health Center is here to serve people who are in the diaspora, who travels to Ghana on vacations, to stay temporarily, for whatever reason that brings you to the motherland. And unfortunately, if you get sick, because we're humans, every day to day life, things can happen. We are used to a level of care over there. And now I have been in practice for over a decade, right? I know what it is when we call quality care. I know what it is with confidentiality when it comes to care. I know what it is with customer service. I know what it is to be there, to be present, compassionate, and all that. I take my job very seriously, and everywhere that I've worked, I leave a little bit of good steam before I leave. But yeah, and this is the passion that has come, that whatever care we are given over there, let us bring it to the motherland and help with preventative care, routine checkup, lab work to make sure you're doing okay. That's what the preschool health center is going to do. We're going to be tackling mental health, people that have mental health crisis or mental health issues. We still here back home, most of them still believe and associate mental health with evil powers. But if there is one thing that I truly believe medicine to help, is mental health. You know, sometimes people just need a talk therapy. They need a mental resilient person to be there, right there with them and talk and sharpen them so they can get up and get moving. Okay, so it's more of preventative care, chronic disease, managing chronic diseases, mental health. These are the big main things that we're going to do. With time, we can add more like pregnancy, ultrasound. There's a lot. There's a lot in this little brain. But this is where we're going to start from. And the Prisco LLC. So we have 4 subdivisions. One is the Prisco Health Center that I just talked about. The other one, which is already operating in the United States, is the Rescue by Pris. So Rescue by Pris is an agency who are aimed to initiate like the CPR MAP training. So it's a professional health training for health care workers. When it comes to like CPR licensing and renewals, MAP training for those that work in a group home. What is it called? We are also trying to get into place like MAP, CNA and HHA, so that it becomes a part. Like we want to eventually open like a school. This is a professional school, but we had to start from somewhere, start from within our means and what we can have. And everything that I'm doing, I don't have a loan, I don't have money, I don't have the big capital to start. So I'm doing it little by little with the little money that I have. Okay, I have, because I don't have the big chunk of capital to start, and I didn't want to put myself into getting like a big loan that I will have struggled, because as it stands, I'm paying huge sums of student loan debt and all that. So I didn't want to add anymore. So it's a gradual process, and we're still looking for people to support us, because the vision again is really bigger, but we just need the funds to help us get to where we want to go. Anyway, so I've talked about the Preschool Health Center. I have talked about Rescue by Pres. The third one is the Rescue Workforce Team, right? This is a healthcare agency to help with your staffing needs. So wherever you call us, we will be there. Our staff will be ready, equipped to get on to whatever they have to do, right? Because I'm a staff development coordinator, I will train them. They will have their CPR. They will have, and we are going to coordinate with, what is it called? The facility on what clinical aspect you want them to be trained, so they don't become a burden. When they come to you, it's not the time that you're going to train them. We will train them, and they will be well equipped to start. And we are already on the field working right now. We're just looking more for people to, facilities actually, to work with. So if you're listening to me and you're a manager, director of any facility, we're here to help. Reach out to us at theprisco.com, or you can call us 774-578-2139, or our Ghana number, plus 233-533-5756. 754. Again, plus 233-533-5756. Okay, and we will be more than thrilled to help you with all your staff. The last but not least subdivision of the Preschool LLC is the Preschool Foundation. So this is where I was raised. Like, Ghana is the home, is the motherland for me. We have traveled to gain knowledge, and it's time to come back and help our people too. Preventative care is very low. One thing that I have seen is healthcare illiteracy is very high, and that's why there's high mortality rate when it comes to the African communities, and my motherland is one of them. So I have taken it upon myself with my team to do a global impact between communities, and hopefully in the future get it going. But to talk more on preventative care for people that are also facing chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, have like a physical activity team. It can be like social media platform that we meet. Any little exercises that they can do to help them. The goal is to kind of help reduce the number of people who are on medicine. But because the health illiteracy is high, people do not really understand the why they need to pay someone to gain the knowledge to help themselves. And if we don't advocate and talk about this, more and more people are going to die. What is the point? One of these things are the point why we came over to learn, gain the knowledge, so we can come back home and help. So the Preschool Foundation is here to stay. It's here to advocate for communities, families that are facing the challenges and not understanding the importance of taking care of themselves, importance of a holistic care, and for them to be whole. Even the Bible talks about it, but people associate everything with Bible. It's about time we change the mindset. Yes, God is there. He's always there to help. Always there to help and protect us. But he also talks about being whole. Like, the body is the temple of God. Like, make it whole so he can come in, right? The goal to bring all these awareness to our people, and also to provide them with equipment that will help them to be able to check their blood pressure for those that are on high blood pressure. Also educate them about medication compliance and the importance, right? And I know most people have like questions on the side effect, but we'll talk to them, let them know all that. It's a big project, and we need help from you guys. So if you're listening, if you're a company looking to help people, we are a foundation that is here to help. Like, as right now, I have over 20 people looking for like staff that I've already been there talking to them about this project, checking their blood pressure and it's super high. Some of them have never been to the hospital. Some of them don't even know what it is. And I was letting them know this is a silent killer, but they don't even understand. So we've taken it upon ourselves to go into the communities and talk about this. It's a big project, public health initiative, right? And we need more hands to help us. Glucometers, all the supplies that comes with that, medical chairs like the wheelchair, medical beds. There's a lot, right? And if we have to start taking care of pregnant people, we're gonna need all the ultrasound. So the preschool has come to stay. Again, the Preschool Health Center, the Rescue by Press, the Preschool Foundation, and the Rescue Workforce Team, right? So we are here right now. We have these 4 things running. So yeah, this is how far we've come. So that little girl you saw in Crowform, see the wonders that she's doing. It all started here. I had to shift my mindset. And trust me, when I was going through all that craziness in life, which I'm still going through, it's not ended, but I kept talking to myself. I just remember I've said this a lot in the video. The resilience up here. I pictured the who I want to become. I pictured this. God wants us to do our own work, like, and that's what we're here for. And also be able to help give to others what we've learned. All right. All this initiative and stuff that I'm doing. One big project that I'm also doing is CPR training and first aid training to communities, churches, facilities, groups of people, because most of them don't even know what this means, right? Or what it is. And people are dying for things that could have been prevented. So I am teaching them, and I have started going around in churches and the communities doing all that. Like I said, it's a big project. It's bigger than me. I'm still a little girl. It's so bigger than me, but I know with your help, we can excel, right? So again, I plead with you, if you're listening to me, if you're a company looking to help people who are abroad, please reach out to us. I'll link all my info down in this video so you guys can reach out. Your help will be very grateful. So we are on Instagram, Facebook, and all our works are being documented. So if you want proof, that's one great way. But of course, please let us know, because we're here. There is more to come, but right now we want to solidify these 4 before we move on again. But again, what's here is way bigger, right? One other big goal on the mental health side, and I don't even know how I'm going to come about. I need a whole facility. Like, I need a facility for at least 20 to 50 people in there that I can help, because people are suffering from addiction. People that we are considered they are mad, and they're not. Some people have schizo, bipolar. Over there, they take meds. They're okay. They're working. They're off the street. Here, because we associate everything with the evil power, evil spirit, someone who's having that internal stimuli and talking to themselves, family throw them away that they're mad, they're crazy, and the next thing you know, they're walking on the street. Those are the people that I want to help. And I want to bring change to my country, that those people are still people who can work. They are okay. They're not mad. They're not crazy. They just need a little bit of treatment and they will be fine. So that's a thing. That's a dream. So if you're listening and that's a passion for you, I know God will bless you in multiple folds. Pick up our contact and reach out to us. We're more than happy. This is a little bit of me. I know this video was long. I cautioned you ahead of time, but that's just everything about me, from that little tiny girl who graduated from SHS and right into the United States, and my journey. Come this September will be 15 years in America. It's been awesome. It's been great. The challenge